Hello, I'm Hannah with the Midland County Public Libraries and welcome to Granger Zone. Today we will be making a book page wrapped pencil. Let's get started. All right, so for this craft we're going to need a book page, a paintbrush or foam brush, and Mod Podge, as well as a pencil. So for the book page, you can either use a page from a book you have that is torn up or falling apart, or you can print one out. I printed out the first page of the Harry Potter books. So with this page, what you're going to want to do is cut it up on each line. So you're going to cut each line of text out in a strip. You'll end up with a bunch of strips like this. For the pencil, I actually sanded the paint off, but you don't have to do that because I tested it with a pencil that wasn't sanded and it worked fine. It works perfectly fine without sanding it, so you can skip that step. Okay, so I've zoomed in a bit so it's easier to see what I'm doing. I like to start at the bottom of the pencil. So get some Mod Podge on your brush and brush it onto the pencil. I like to do it a little bit at a time because otherwise you start wrapping it and the Mod Podge that's up here dries. But you can do it however you want, honestly, as long as it works. Okay. So then you'll get your strip and you're going to want to start wrapping it at a slight angle, and that way it's easier for you to go up the whole pencil smoothly. Okay. You're going to want to leave extra at the bottom so you can cut it off. All right, so once you finish with that strip, get your Mod Podge and put a little bit of Mod Podge on top of it, because when you put on the next strip, you're going to want to overlap it just a little bit so that you don't have any weird parts sticking up once you're done. Okay. Whoop. Okay. All right, now that I'm getting close to the edge of what I had put Mod Podge on in the first part, I'm going to spread a little bit more going up. Don't worry too much if some of your edges start sticking out, because we're going to put Mod Podge all over the entire thing once we're done wrapping it, and that'll help seal it all and keep all of those little pieces nice and clean. If you wanted to be really fancy, you could keep your strips of text in order. So it would have an entire few sentences or paragraph in order on the pencil. I do not care that much about it. That would be a lot of work, and I would have to go through these and figure out what order they're supposed to be in. So I'm just wrapping it. You can see, the Dursleys and the Potters on it, so you know what book it is. If you wanted to read it, you could check it out from the library. You don't have to use this pencil. All right. And like I said, don't worry too much about stuff like this where it sticks out. You can go back and tuck it in a little bit so it doesn't dry sticking out, but we're going to fix it in a little bit. I'm more than halfway done now. Again, I'm going to brush up here to make sure I have Mod Podge up here where I'm going. I need a little bit more on here. You can tell if you need more Mod Podge because it doesn't stick. I was gonna say there's no such thing as too much, but I think that's a lie. I think you could put too much Mod Podge. Your hands are probably gonna get sticky doing this. You should be washing your hands anyway. It shouldn't be that big of a deal to wash your hands for this. Ooh, almost done. Speaking of sticky hands. Okay. So with the one I made, I went ahead and put the Mod Podge over it before I cut off the extra up here at the top. And let it dry a little bit before I did that. But since the bottom has already dried a bit, what I'm going to do is see where the metal part starts on here and trim this so that it's going to be straight all the way around, or you know, mostly straight. Looks good to me. Okay, so now we're going to start Mod Podging the whole thing, and you're going to want something to set this on to dry. I would suggest wax paper or something similar so it doesn't stick to whatever you set it on. So I wouldn't just set it on a table or a piece of paper because it will stick to it, because this is glue. Okay. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut off some of this extra here. So we don't need that, and all it's gonna do is make it annoying to cut. Okay. So you're going to want to do the same thing on the top as you did at the bottom. You could do it with an X-Acto knife or a box cutter too, I bet. It might be more precise that way. But all you really got to do is cut off the extra. Okay, there we go. So all we have to do is set it down and let it dry for a little while. This dried within like an hour, so yeah. Thank you for joining us today for Granger Zone. I hope all of your pencils turned out great. We'll see you next month, and don't let the muggles get you down.